Sextortion is a serious crime that occurs when someone threatens to distribute your private and sensitive material if you don't provide them images of a sexual nature, sexual favors, or money. The perpetrator may also threaten to harm your friends or relatives by using information they have obtained from your electronic devices unless you comply with their demand.
What's going on, you guys? AJ Tucker here with AJ Self-Defense, man. And today I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart. This right here is tragic, and it hits me because this kid is the same age as my son. But Levi Maciejewski ended up taking his own life because he was a victim of sextortion. And what is sextortion? This is a very common thing. I started talking about this probably in 2020 during COVID. And that clip that you saw earlier was from the FBI. They talk about sextortion because it's something that's real. And it's something that's happening to a lot of young men. It happens to a lot of young male teens in between the ages of 13 to 17, and they're mostly athletes. So when you think about these teachers taking advantage and having sex with young students, they're normally not athletes. It's normally somebody they can isolate. But when it becomes a victim of sextortion, they normally target athletes. So I'm going to talk about this. So sextortion, it kind of is what it sounds like. Let me give you an example. So let's say a man, he makes a fake profile and he starts to talk to a young man or a teenager let's say he's 13 years old, because this is the tragedy that happened. Let's say he's 13 years old. And so he fakes like a 13-year-old girl. And then he says, hey, I want you to send me some naked pictures or whatever. And the young man's probably gonna send it, right? It happens sometimes, happens to the best of us. So he sends the picture. Right after he sends the picture, that adult starts to say, hey, I am going to expose you if you don't give me money. I'm going to expose you if you don't give me sexual favors. I'm going to expose you if you don't do this. And one of the reasons why they target athletes is because they have more ties. I remember when I was a young man or a young kid or whatever, I would do anything to stay good to go. Like, it helped me with my grades. I didn't want to fail because I wanted to be on that field, and I would do anything to get on that field. So I can't even imagine, like, luckily I didn't have social media or anything like that when I was younger. Man, I can't even imagine being a victim of that. And one little mistake, you expose yourself. Another thing they do is they lurk in these rooms. So let's say you're live streaming and you expose yourself on a live stream. They just sit back and record it and then turn around and say, hey, I'm going to expose you if you don't do X, Y, and Z. There was a man about 5 years ago. He did this to 156 young men before they caught him. He got life in prison, but he sextorted 156 young men before he was caught. And 2 of those young men ended up committing suicide. Let's talk about another thing when it comes to our young men. They normally don't say anything. They try to handle it themselves. They internalize it. And this is why there's so many there's so many self-deletions with young men when it becomes to the topic of sextortions. And again, I remind you, it happens mostly to young athletes. Now, I will speak. Parents, I want you to share this. I really want you to share this with the young men in your family. They're going to roll your eyes. They're going to say, I would never do that, or this and that, and this and that, and the third, right? But you never know. Just let them know, if they're ever in this situation, to go straight to the FBI or go straight to the parents, and then the parents go straight to the FBI and they will handle it. Do not worry about getting exposed. If you are in this position, please do not try to take care of it yourself. Go straight to your parents and go straight to the FBI.